Hello and welcome back, football fans, to Centre Circle. My name's Joe Reeford, and today we're going to be running through just some analysis, my thoughts and feelings on the very first Premier League game, and also Liverpool. It was Liverpool versus Norwich, and we're going to have a little match analysis. Just point a few things out. A lot of things I was happy with, a few things which shouldn't be a worry, but may cause to be a worry. But enough talking. We'll get into this. So the score ended up being 4-1 to Liverpool. It was a great score, great first match for Liverpool to secure those 3 points. Little bit gutted that we conceded. One of the main talking points is that Alisson got injured shortly just before half time. Everyone was unsure what he had done, and was worried if it was serious or not. Doesn't seem like it's going to be too serious. It was a calf issue. He might have tore a few fibres in his calf or something along the lines of that. There hasn't been anything officially said yet, but speculation is that he's probably going to be out to 4 to 6 weeks, which means he's going to be, depending on how well he he heals, will depend on when he comes back. So he will be missing the Super Cup versus Chelsea, and most likely be missing the home game against Arsenal, or it might be the away game. I'm not too sure. But we've got Arsenal in like 2-3 weeks. That's our first big game, I would say. So we'll be missing that. But we've got a new backup goalkeeper. I forgot what his name is. Let me have a look. So let's have a look. I forgot what his name is. I'm just doing this off the cuff, just because it's just like as if it's like a little podcast. I would like to talk with people live on things and stuff like that. But I thought I'd just talk it and just be all natural with you. I'm not here as like a news thing or nothing like that. I just want people to see it, maybe have a listen to my thoughts and stuff like that. So obviously I just want to quickly find out the name of his name is Adrian, or Adrian if you're saying it in English. Forgot. I think that's his surname. Can't remember what his first name is, but he came from a free from West Ham. He looks like was a decent backup keeper, but looks like he's going to have to be our first team keeper for a couple of weeks. He's solid enough to be behind our back four, but not having Alisson there maybe puts the defence on a little edge, because they always seem like they're a lot better when they've got Alisson behind them. So hopefully he makes a speedy recovery back. That might be why we let one in, when it's not really. Watching the highlights back, it was flat-footed defence really. That's the only cause for worry. Like, it's the first game. A lot of players obviously, like, it starts quite quickly, so it might be taking them a little while to like get back into it. Luckily, obviously, our first game was against Norwich and not a big one like Arsenal, City, Chelsea or anything like that. But they looked a bit flat-footed, and watching the highlights back, I'll pop a little screenshot on the screen now. You'll see that Gomez is ball watching, and there's a player behind him, and he doesn't seem to be aware that Pukki is behind him. Trent Alexander-Arnold has got obviously can see him, but I don't know. They just didn't seem like they were expecting that ball, and I don't know whether that was, obviously at this point we're 4-0 up by half time. We're now in the second half. We pretty much know the game's in the bag, and this is what it does frustrate me a little bit, because it's like, yes, like you've got so many people saying that Norwich won the second half, Norwich won the second half, like, Liverpool need to be a bit white, they don't look that good. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, we didn't play our best the second half. We were a lot flat-footed. We didn't have as many chances as the first half, but for me it's like, when you know pretty much the game is said and done, and all you've really got to make sure is try and keep that clean sheet, which unfortunately we couldn't keep. But it's not the end of the world. It's very rarely things come down to goal difference. I wouldn't really want to win the league or lose the league definitely on goal difference. I really want it. Is a result is a result. 3 points is 3 points. You can sit there and talk all day how we didn't play very well second half, and you'll find a lot of people will look at the second half and go, "Well, this was wrong, that was wrong, this was wrong." I didn't find that many things wrong necessarily. It's just frustrating because it's like you're 4-0 up at half time, and the only thing anyone can say is because the people do have a point. Origi, our first goal, which was like 7 minutes in, it was an own goal. It was just he went to clear the ball, completely mistimed it in the back of the net. But that was the pressure from us what caused that goal. The goal in itself wasn't scored by us, but the pressure of constantly attacking and putting pressure on players caused him to feel like he needed to rush and kick that ball out, then causing that mistake. That's because of the high intensity that we play, which was very nice to see because we could have underestimated Norwich a little bit, knowing they'd just come up from the Championship and that we are too good for them. We could have underestimated them, but luckily we didn't. And then you've got obviously then so. I think that was our intensity and some nice quick feet work from Origi to bypass one or two players, or at least keep them confused enough to try and get it into the box for someone to tap in. Luckily, it was a terrible deflection what made it go in. Then the second goal, which was Mohamed Salah, again, everyone, the third season wonder, starting the first game with a goal. Obviously, not as good as when I'm recording this is Sterling's hat trick against West Ham. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Liverpool. We don't really care what Man City are doing, because that's the thing. If Liverpool want to win the league, realistically, what we've got to do is we've got to play. We need to not draw as many, even though it is so funny saying that, because I think we only drew 7 last season, which in a lot of those games I was happy to walk away with a draw. I think that's what people forget is, yeah, we did draw a few too many, but like whereas City lost 4, we drew the games we probably should have walked away with no points. And you were thinking, well, I've always said like to win the league, you've got to draw against the big ones and win against the small ones. If you draw against the top 6 and win against all the other teams, you should win the league really, because what happens is big teams slip up against smaller teams, or head to head one of them will win or something. But if you're drawing with the top 6, top 4, if you're drawing with the top 4 and you're beating everyone else, you should win the league. And that's pretty much what Liverpool done last season. What happened? We didn't win the league. Somehow City lost 4, we only lost 1 game, which was to City, annoyingly enough, and we didn't win the league. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, so going back to, I'm going off on a tangent there, going back to the 2 goals with the first 2 goals, yeah, it was like Mo Salah's goal. It kind of took a bit of a deflection, which then came to Firmino, who put it into a nice little path for Salah to slot the ball. Again, if you look at the goal, obviously Mo Salah's made it look easy because he's a world-class player. But when you look at it, it was fine margins. He had to get it through a very tight gap between the keeper and a defender what was coming in, and he was cool, calm and collective about it, and took it in his stride. But it's something which a lot of other players would have just cocked up and missed, to be honest. So again, yeah, the way the ball fell there was a little bit in our luck, and guess that like it flattered Norwich a little bit. But again, the pressure putting on the players where they don't really know what's going on and everything's frantic. But as long as Liverpool are staying calm, then we're able to pick up those kind of balls and slot them away, which is the difference. You've got to be clinical. Norwich are a good side. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that we played bad. They are a good side, and you have to be clinical, which we was. So obviously, and then obviously the third goal was a header by Virgil van Dijk. Not much to say about that, apart from the fact that he's an absolute beast. And obviously just stuck his head on it. Nice clean goal. That was all in our merit, really. Virgil van Dijk's merit. Nice cross from Trent Alexander. It was Robertson, I think. But Yeah, so it was just that was set piece what went in, so that was in our favour. And then again, like you take that fourth goal, so like if you ignore those first two goals, which were a little bit by luck, let's say, those goals didn't count, they were offside or some shit like that. All right, you take that lovely set piece from a corner with Virgil van Dijk putting it in. Beautiful. We're 1-0 up at that point, right? And then you take the second. You take the second goal. Beautiful, beautiful cross in once again by Trent Alexander-Arnold. For such a young age, for someone who's meant to be developing, he's there. Really, he's like obviously everyone's got things to work on, but he's playing. He's playing brilliantly. He has the odd game where he doesn't play well, but so does everyone. But like, he's put in a beautiful ball, and Origi's just popped it in. So we're 2-0 up at that point. And then obviously going back to Pukki's goal, the game we would have walked away 2-1, right? Which I guess in a way doesn't look as good as 4-1, which I can see why people are saying it. But the thing is, we were clinical in those times when other players for other teams would have missed it. So maybe the scoreline did flatter it a little bit, but I reckon if we were only if it was 0-0 at half time, or we were only 1-0 up at half time, we would have played with a lot more higher intensity in the second half, because we wouldn't want to one, risk drawing, and two, we want to walk away with a convincing win, not just a win. To obviously kind of put a stamp on the league, and kind of say, look, we're here to fight again. We're not here to flop like every single person seems to say, which is obviously it's frustrating. It's even Liverpool fans, they think we're gonna flop. I can see why, because it was like 97 points and not to win the league is just 96 points I think, and not to win the league is just unfortunate, and it could only have happened to Liverpool. Any other fucking team would have won it, and that's what's so frustrating. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I think what worries me is if we don't win it this season is, luckily they won the Champions League last season, but to run ragged for 2 seasons on a trot and not win the Premier League, you kind of sit there and go, what the fuck do I have to do to win this thing? Do you know what I mean? Because Man City are so good and so clinical, but they'll slip up again exactly like they did last season. So if we can stay clinical, stay precise, and if we win head to head against City, they're the important games really. Like obviously every game in the Prem is important, but I think for me the difference, what comes down between Liverpool and City, is winning their head to head. So obviously we drew and lost to City, which ultimately was the reason really that we didn't win. Everyone says, oh, Everton stopped us with that draw and this and that, and it's a load of bollocks. It was the City game for me really, and the odd anomaly which things were just happening and you thought, well, this is just not going in our favour, is it? But going back to obviously the analysis, and just like, this is my thoughts and feelings. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the performance, to walk away with for a 4-1 win. There was a lot more positives than negatives. The high intensity was there. It was there all game. The support was absolutely brilliant. A couple of people saying, "Oh, we sing you never walk alone," and we go quiet. For me, that support, even when we were 4-0 up after half time and game was set and match, the support was still there. And yeah, Norwich, they were a brilliant side and they play very well, and they're probably going to, themselves are probably going to cause a few upsets this season. I'm sure they will. They're a class side. Pukki being a very clinical striker, and yeah, I'm very happy with the performance. First half 4-0. There's not much else you can say about that. The only issue is we've got so much. Well, we've got so much. It's not necessarily an issue, but we've got so much choice with our midfield. Hopefully, we can, Oxlade-Chamberlain can and Keita can start performing very well, because I think they're two players where you can bring them on at half time and they've got that ability to be creative and change the game and come on when we need them to make a difference. So that would definitely be interesting to see this season, because Keita struggled to fit in last season, but nearer to the end of the season, he definitely was starting to look like the player that we had initially brought. Again, Oxlade-Chamberlain was injured. I think he'll come in and make a big difference. But no, it's just one of those things where it's like 3 points is 3 points. But yeah, the only negative you can really walk away with is defence looks slightly a little bit more shaky and not as solid as we did last season. I'm not sure why that is. The only thing you can say is because Gomez was playing and not Matip. But when we look at it, the first half of the season, Gomez was starting with Virgil van Dijk and they looked like the best pairing in Europe. And then Matip came in. I was slightly worried he weren't going to be able to step up, and he did. He stepped up. So we got quality defenders there, and they look slightly shaky, but I'm sure that's like just dusting out the cobwebs a little bit. But yeah, they just looked a bit flat-footed now and again. They weren't quite switched on. But again, when you're 4-0 up, you're not gonna be as switched on because you kind of know in the back of your mind, you know, if a goal goes in, it's like, ah, fuck, that clean sheet's gone. But realistically, we've won this game, so. Yeah, obviously people are going to look for things to try and tear Liverpool apart because no one likes us and no one wants us to win the league. So anything they can take away and try and knock down on the mentality, they're going to try and do that. But realistically, sitting here, like City have just won 5-0 against West Ham. Obviously, again, it just shows like both teams, Liverpool and Man City, are quality teams, and it's going to be, for me, a similar season to last season. Tottenham again will kick round about third, make it look like they might be challenging for the league. But realistically, I think the only team again this season what can try and push City and try and knock them off the top spot will be us. I truly believe that. I truly think we can. If we don't, depending on how we don't, I'm not too sure. I don't know, like maybe if it depends again, then it would come down to signings and stuff like that because clearly something isn't working. If you go 2 seasons close to winning the league but not, what's that extra little push you need? But yeah, there's not much. I've blabbed on a lot. You'll get used to me doing that in these videos. I just kind of I've done it off the cuff. I haven't done no bullet points, no nothing. I've just gone for it, thought about the game, thought about what had happened. I would have liked to have done more of a analysis breakdown, looking at the whole match and stuff, but it's really hard to come by the footage online, and one of those things where I don't want to get copyrighted as well. So my initial thoughts with these analysis hasn't really quite worked out, and I was in the pub watching it, having a couple of pints. So I was watching it, but I wasn't watching it with like full concentration. Like I was, but I wasn't. But like it's one of those things. I've been able to watch the highlights back. I've been able to watch some of the match back, and obviously reiterate what I was thinking at the time. And that's just like I'm so happy that the league is back, football back. Because as much as I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm also a football fan. So it's nice to be able to on a weekend watch some quality football. And yeah, I think we're in for a very interesting season. I think Liverpool are gonna not flop like a lot of people think, and I think we're definitely gonna give people a run for their money again. And I want them to underestimate us, sorry, because then it's gonna make it better for us. But Firmino looked class, Mane looked good when he came on. Mo Salah again looking nice and clinical. Could have put away a couple of more goals like he could have done in the Charity Shield. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like it's going to be an interesting season, and I'm going to be doing videos like this after every game, so you can pop along and have my thoughts and feelings on it. Get involved in the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys are thinking. And then if we get enough support in the comment section and stuff, I'll start be able to make videos where I'll respond. Obviously I'll respond in the comment section a little bit and whatever, but like if we get that support, I'll be able to make videos where I'll kind of respond to your guys' opinions and stuff like that, because that's what ultimately I want to do. I want to create debates. I want people to disagree with me. I want people to agree with me and stuff like that. But most importantly, I just want you guys to be able to sit and listen to me a bit like a podcast and think, yeah, like, you know what, he's got a fair few points there and stuff like that. And obviously, like, if I do get bigger and people want to support, then like I can start a podcast where I can invite people on and we can have a chat, we can have a debate. Do you know what I mean? And it's all that's what football is. It's all different opinions and stuff like that. But I love watching football, and I just wanted to make videos to do with Liverpool and this journey that we're on at the moment, and just football in general. I'm a football fan as well as a Liverpool fan. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know I blabbed on a little bit. I might try the next video trying to be a bit more clinical, keep it more like short and sweet to the point, rather than just like blabbing on for a bit. But and I'll do like variants of these kind of videos and then see what you guys think is the best one. Do you like it short and sweet to the point, or do you like it when I'm more natural like this, and I just think about the game on the spot, and I just talk about the game, and just express my feelings. And this way it's a bit more natural. It's just me talking. But then if we do, I can do short and sweet and clinical and to the point kind of videos, and just get it across quickly in like 10 minutes or something, rather than it going on for like 20-25 minutes. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This has been Centre Circle. My name's been Joe Reeford, and yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, give it a like, subscribe, stick around, get involved in the comment section, and yeah, see you later.